Hey guys, Jesper here, and today we're doing another exercise. An exercise where, camera, please focus on me, focus on this handsome one. No, to be fair, we're doing another exercise. It's time to do the exercise where I talk about something that I enjoy. And today, since we've already done tea and hamsters, I think it's time to talk about movies. Because I quite enjoy movies and I quite enjoy books, but that is something I'll talk about later on. So, I quite enjoy movies because of them allowing me to explore a new universe. I think movies are very good as an entertainment and relaxation device because you get to just fall back and realize, and experience a lot of different emotions. Um, I really enjoy movies as well because I've been taught in the history of movies at my high school in my media studies, and I've been taught how movies are built. That means that I know how you create a movie, I know how you uh, create a good movie, how you can tell the story as well as possible, and all the different techniques used to create this movie. Um, as I mentioned, I also like this history behind movies, and I'm quite a big fan of watching old movies from the 1900 and up. I think the oldest movie I've ever watched was from 1920 something. And I really enjoy seeing how movies they have evolved over time from being silent movies into being black and white movies with sound into being technicolor movies into being technicolor movies that we have nowadays that actually can use CGI, can do so many different things. I quite enjoy that. And I'm a big fan of so many different kinds of movies. My okay, yeah, I'm a big fan of different movies, and I like a lot of different genres in movies. I, for example, today I watched Her, the movie about someone falling in love with an iOS, a what do you call it, like a programming or like a system device, I guess you call it, device system. Um, I really enjoyed watching that movie, and I've seen drama movies like Walk the Line. Yesterday I watched Sunset Boulevard. So I have seen a lot of different movies. I've probably watched around 250 movies over my time as a student at my local high school. So I do enjoy all kinds of different movies, and I enjoy seeing, as I said, how they evolve. One of my favorite things about movies is when they're able to tell a good story and you're able to just kick back and relax. For example, a movie series that I really enjoy, like a yeah, I guess you can call it a series, is old Charlie Chaplin's um, movie series about the Vagabond. I really enjoy those movies because I think that they tell such a great story. And I've seen a lot of his movies, mainly his main movies like City Lights, The Gold Digger. No, that's not the name, but some along those lines, right? The movies from 1940, 30 stuff. And I've seen those, and I think he's so good at telling your story. But then you can draw a parallel over to Damien Chazelle nowadays, the creator behind La La Land and First Man. And I think he's super good at telling a story too. And that's what I really enjoy. And I think that is something I can draw a parallel over to my own commentary. That telling a story is something I think is very important. And when you're able to do that by whichever medium you're using, either it's movies or it's your commentary, I quite respect being able to tell that story. And Damien Chazelle is super good at doing it. One guy I was impressed by as well was Denis Villeneuve. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name. The creator behind the new Blade Runner movie, Blade Runner 2049. I quite enjoyed that movie, and I'm a big fan of long movies, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. I think that just as long as you can tell a great story without scenes becoming redundant, without scenes becoming scenes that just run in the circle, right? I think that then you're able to create a good movie and a good story. Uh, and that means that you also have to be drawn in by the universe that the movie is creating. That when you're able to tell the story, you can just catch your viewer and draw them into the universe that you're trying to create and that you're trying to create for them so that they can experience that. One of the best movies that I've ever seen was it was Gone with the Wind. I really enjoyed that movie. It's super long. It's what, like 4 hours, if that can even do it, 4.5. But the just story that was told in that movie, the feelings that you get off of that movie is so overwhelming, and I feel like I actually have an idea about how it felt being a part of the American Civil Wars, or Civil War, sorry. Um, and that's essentially what you need to do in a story, and in a movie, that is. A part of movies that I think people they usually underestimate too, that I quite enjoy looking out for, is sound and music in general. Um, and I've been a huge fan of listening to the music from the movies that I enjoy. For example, I think one of the best movies that I've seen in terms of the soundtrack in that movie was Lady Bird. I really enjoyed listening to Lady Bird. The music that was used there conveyed so much emotion and really told a story by itself that I think you could have just used that music for a theater too, not necessarily having to use it for a movie. Another guy that I think is super good at creating music for movies is Alexander Desplat. Desplat. Um, he is the guy behind movies in terms of sound, of course. Behind The King's Speech, he has been working on The Shape of Water, too. Um, and those movies are movies that when you say The Shape of Water or The King's Speech, it's movies where I think, oh, they had a great soundtrack. So I quite enjoy looking out for those two, and it helps me get more into that story and relax. I also enjoy looking at the way that the scene is built up, the cinematography, and I love looking out for that too, because I think the way you compose a scene, the way you create the environment, means a lot too, and you can always catch the viewer by having such a unique way of creating your scenes. Her was an example. As an example, they created a scenes where, with them being very clean, with that being a lot of colors in there. Same goes for, let's say, La La Land. La La Land was super clean, so a lot of colors in there. They had a lot of objects in it too, but the objects never felt like they were messy in that sense, and it always felt like they were actually a part of the world, without just messing up the the picture of the scene, I guess you can say, and then still creating a scene that's not too that's not too clean, but is how would you say it? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that with the right cinematography, like in La La Land, you can create a scene that's not busy, but is still super clean and still has objects in it. You also have the Grand Budapest Hotel. They were super good at using or creating scenes where everything is aligned, it's straight up, you have a lot of straight lines, and everything looks perfect. And that's very unusual for movies. And I love that too. But that's 10 minutes of me rambling about movies. Try to do it concisely and spoke as well as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling about movies. And I'll see you next time.